I know I'm a little late to the party in discussing this topic, but we really need to discuss this image right here. It was released as part of a teaser campaign a couple weeks ago for Volume 9, and initially I did intend to talk about it at that point in time, but they dropped the Volume 9 trailer just 2 days later, so some other videos kind of took priority over this one. Regardless, I think it is very important to talk about, both for, the potential plot of Volume 9 and also for me personally. And that's because there are two objects present in this image that I think are very relevant. One of which could be the indicator on how Team RWBY actually escape the Ever After, or at least puts them on the right track to be able to escape, and the other, possibly related to that same topic, but is very significant to me personally. So that's the object I'll talk about first, which is this little piece of glassware right here. This is called a separatory funnel. It is used in chemistry experiments to separate out immiscible liquids of different densities. And so the fact that this is here indicates to me that someone in the Ever After is doing chemistry experiments on something and for some purpose. We don't know what that something is or what that purpose may be, though we can speculate. So, you may be asking, well, what exactly is the significance of that? Well, just the fact that chemistry experiments are being introduced into the world of RWBY is very significant for me because I actually have a master's degree in chemistry. Don't worry about the stuff that's blacked out here. You just don't need to know that much personal information about me, but I've put years of my life into studying chemistry. So much so that I don't just have an undergraduate degree, I actually have a master's degree. Chemistry is literally my day job. I'm an organic chemist 5 days out of the week, every week of the year. So this is something I have a significant amount of knowledge about. Now, granted, I don't use a separatory funnel every single day of the year or anything like that, though I do have a significant amount of experience with separatory funnels. When I was a teaching assistant during my graduate degree, I literally taught dozens and dozens of students how to properly use these things and what the purpose of them are. I could, spend this entire video explaining the purpose of just separatory funnels, but I'll spare you the details. If you really want to know, you can come to my Twitch stream later today or Saturdays. Every Tuesday and Saturday I stream. You can come ask chemistry questions there. Who knows? Maybe I can even help you with your chemistry homework or something like that. But the fact that chemistry experiments are going to be introduced into RWBY is something that, well, I'm going to be keeping my eye on. So I hope Rooster Teeth has done their research because if I see any chemistry inaccuracies, I'll notice. But back to the overall RWBY content, so I'll stop boring you with the science-based stuff. So, for the purpose of Volume 9, the fact that someone is doing chemistry experiments means that someone has questions about the goings-on in the Ever After. There are some unknowns that people are trying to figure out, or that someone is trying to figure out. From what we've seen from the Volume 9 trailer and everything else going on, it appears that most people kind of just accept things the way they are. Little doesn't really question why, they're only given a name later in life, and things of that nature. Things just work the way they do. It's a nonsense world in many different ways from what we're led to believe, so there's someone here who has been questioning things. And in my opinion, that would likely be Alex, an outsider to the Ever After who wants to find out more about it, and in particular, how to get home. And that would involve those experiments on how exactly to get where she needs to go, which is likely the tree. Because as we found out in the trailer, you do not go to the tree goes to you, which I think is the purpose of both the experiments as well as the other significant item present in this image, which is the globe. Now, of course, this isn't your typical globe. It's glowing, after all, and it's also entirely blue. There's really no point in having a globe if it's just going to be completely empty, right? Now, of course, you could say that, well, it's a globe and just the world is mostly water, and then there's just the island on it, and sure, but at that point, if the island is the only object that's present in the entire world, then you could just have, like, a map posted on the wall. You don't need this actual globe. Unless you want to pinpoint something, unless you want to track something. And I think that is the purpose of this globe. Considering that the world is most likely just the island, or at least that's the only part of it we're going to see, I think this globe contains some magic within it, hence the glowing nature of it. Because otherwise, I don't really think there'd be a point of combining a globe and a nightlight together. It doesn't really seem practical. I think this globe is going to have other purposes in tracking the way for them to get out of the ever after. If the tree goes to them and you can't actually get to the tree, well, what if someone tried to force it? What if someone tried to track the magical signature that the tree left behind wherever it was picked up? Now, I don't actually think they're tracking the tree in and of itself, but something related to the tree. Perhaps the Cheshire Cat itself. Because apparently the Cheshire Cat is an exception to that rule, that the tree has to go to you unless you are this cat. So I'm wondering if this globe, and if the research that is going on here, likely, in my opinion, done by Alex, is meant to track down this cat. Find the way, or the individual in the ever after, that can actually help Alex get out of this other world. And through using this globe, that might have been how Alex was first able to escape the ever after. Because according to the overall fairy tale of the girl who fell through the world, she was able to return. It's just she was sad because she wasn't the same girl anymore. And perhaps returned to the ever after later on. But this fairy tale in Remnant wouldn't exist unless someone was able to go to the ever after and come back, most likely. So I think Alex, the girl who fell through the world, is going to be relevant. And I think this is her hideout where she was doing research on tracking down the way to get out. The globe is how she physically tracked what I'm guessing was the Cheshire Cat. She would track it down, find out where it was located, get some magical signature from the area where it was. Maybe she was too late, maybe there was some residue left behind, or something of that nature. Something in the soil, or she was just trying to use the separatory funnel and other experiments to extract some sort of magical signature that she could then imprint in the globe to be able to track where, the Cheshire Cat or some other individual or object was present in the world. She timed it using the hourglasses that were there. There's food, what I presume to be food at least, that's out on the table, and probably what's in those sacks as well, indicating that there would be long journeys ahead to, gather different samples for the research, to, journey out, find the individual, and find a way out of this world. That's my overall thinking, at least, as to how this is all going to play out, how the experiments tie together, what is actually being researched in this little cave, and the significance of both, the separatory funnel, the hourglasses, the globe, and everything of that nature. We did see in the Volume 9 trailer, for just the briefest couple of frames, as Team RWBY is entering this little cavern, that it is connected to the kind of fantasy forest outside. We see that just outside of the cave entrance. So likely this is a hideout of some sort that likely Alex would use, since she probably wouldn't want to live in, the Red Queen's city, I guess, or any other establishment that would be there, because she feels like an outsider. She wants to escape, which is something that maybe not everyone in the world is all too keen to do, because it might upset the balance of the world, or something of that nature. And just in case it was missed, it is the entirety of Team RWBY that is walking into this cave. There's Ruby, of course, but there's a tiny little Blake, Yang, and Weiss that are riding in her hood as well. So I think, based on what we have seen from the Volume 9 trailer, the timeline of events is that somehow RWBY ends up in conflict with who I'm assuming is the Red Queen or Queen of Hearts, and ends up in this chess match. That is how Blake, Yang, and Weiss get shrunk down. The chess match doesn't go as planned. We see the table get completely flipped over, and Yang, Blake, and Weiss are stuck small. So RWBY has to carry them all around. She finds this cave, the cave leads her to track down the Cheshire Cat, whom she then encounters, and that's when the Cheshire Cat explains, "You do not go to the tree goes to you, unless you are me, you see." And Yang responds, not even a little bit. Assuming that that is the exact same conversation that actually happens, that is Yang's response to the cat, we see that Yang is still riding on RWBY's shoulder, so she's still small. So I think that entering this cave is obviously after Blake, Yang, and Weiss get shrunk down to their small size, but also before they encounter the Cheshire Cat. So I think this might be a way to connect those two little plot lines. So that's my overall idea, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I hope this video wasn't too rambly and off the walls, considering I was talking about chemistry and my own, personal experiences and the relevance that it has to me, something that I do know a lot about, and I also know a lot about RWBY, so, tying the two together makes me very interested in seeing what will end up happening in Volume 9. Hopefully everything made sense. Feel free to join in on my Twitch streams every Tuesday and Saturday to ask more questions about, RWBY in and of itself, as well as chemistry or other things like that. We play video games, we have a fun time there. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe and join the Guild of the Eternal Flame. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.